Hi everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Awakened. I'm your host Jason.
And I'm your host Allison.
And welcome back to another splendid show. We've got a treat for you today. Allison's going to be talking about the 5G network.
Oh, my experience with the 5G network.
It's a doozy.
It is. It's a very interesting one. When was it? Was it last year or was it the year before?
Year before.
It was roughly, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is going back a bit of time. I was working for a company that would deliver food. I was on the road quite a lot and I was never really in my body all that much, because we've also done a video on grounding, so it's very important to be in your body and grounded while you're driving, especially because we did talk about not being grounded while driving. And I remember driving back to the depot and all of a sudden really I am ungrounded quite a bit of the time, not so much now, but in this particular instance I felt more ungrounded than usual. It was almost like I was actually being this is going to sound really strange, but kind of being sucked out of my head in a way. It's like something's come along, put like a straw in and trying to pull me out of my head.
Which is weird.
It is weird. Like, why would... Yeah, I don't understand that. I didn't really understand that. And the only explanation that we actually had was the 5G network. Because I'm very sensitive to, on a psychic level, on like a mental level, we actually did put it down to the frequencies. It was really about the frequencies that were actually flying around. Not necessarily, look, I don't know if someone came along and put a straw in my head.
Because you drove past a tower.
Yeah, so I kept driving past the tower heading back to the depot. It's a main road, and I think there's quite a few towers on Burwood Highway. Are there?
I'd say there would be, yeah.
Yeah, because we've got a shopping centre there as well. So I'm pretty sure that there are a few towers on Burwood Highway. And I just keep remembering driving along and feeling very, very ungrounded, like out of the mind ungrounded. And at the time, I was also wearing a Moldavite pendant as well, which doesn't really help with grounding either.
Not really.
No,
it's not a grounding crystal.
No, because it's definitely not a grounding crystal. If any of you guys are aware of Moldavite crystals, they're not grounding crystals at all.
They're very powerful crystal.
Very, very powerful for transformation, the heart chakra, but also because it's a meteorite, it's very etheric. Thank you. It's very etheric. So it's very mind, very up in the ethers kind of thing. And that wasn't helping at all. And I remember coming home and telling Jason about it. And he said, well, maybe you need to take off the necklace. So I took that off, and that was a huge difference, a huge difference. But then Jason also came up with another idea.
Yeah, because I was getting shown when I was a kid. For some reason, there was something about picking on people who wore aluminium hats.
I remember people like that. It was like in a point.
Yeah. I don't know if they were taking the mickey out of people. I'm thinking they were, because maybe back then they were considered to be conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
And I just got, okay, maybe that might work. And then we're talking to somebody else, and they wear shungite crystals in their hat when they're doing particular psychic work and channeling and stuff like that. And I thought, maybe we just try that. I'm thinking I'm going to have one too in my cap, because you can't see it.
No, because it's under the cap.
Yeah, it's in the cap.
Yeah.
Did that, and then instantly you felt a lot better.
Absolutely. I've got in my cap, it's covered in, like, underneath it's the foil, and I've got tiny little shungite pieces in there, and instantly, like, I felt like my mind could actually relax instead of having to fight so much to ground all the time. And I think did you try the shungite, or did you just have the foil?
I would have put shungite in there, surely.
How did you feel? Because you're very grounded anyway.
Yeah, I felt a difference. I felt like the headspace wasn't as busy, and I just felt a lot more clearer. Because if you go back to the 5G network, my understanding is because it's the 5G word is just the fifth generation.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. But with this fifth generation, they've got to put more of them around. So therefore, my understanding is that the frequency penetrates a little bit more deeper into you than, say, 4G. And there needs to be a lot of them as well because they're a short-range frequency, not a long-range frequency. So that's where the problem is as well. They're a different frequency. I mean, I know it's fantastic. You know, computers everything goes
quicker,
faster.
yeah, but
that's amazing.
You know, for someone who's psychically sensitive,
yeah, I mean that side of the coin is amazing, but this other side isn't real great. I remember doing a job with a tradie for a woman who was really sensitive to all this frequency that's floating in the air from, you know. Back then, I think it might have been more 4G, the frequencies and the Wi-Fi and that type of thing. And we had to paint her whole bedroom in this black magnetized paint.
Oh.
And then hook up electrical wiring, really fine wiring. It was special, it wasn't like a normal electrical wire. Oh. And then plug it in to ground the room.
Wow.
And then we spent like 3 days doing this. It cost you like $5,000.
Wow.
For this paint and this bits and pieces. And we were guided by this company how to do it. And then we had to paint over the top of it so you wouldn't know.
Oh.
And that was meant to protect her from going stupid and crazy. So there's a lot of people out there who are really sensitive. When you check out online, there's a lot of people who really can't handle these particular wave frequencies.
No, because it's not natural. It's not a natural wave frequency at all.
So if you're super sensitive to this frequency like you are at times, it will literally do your head in.
It really, or pull you out.
Well, for you, for that moment, for whatever reason, I'm getting it might have been this might sound a bit stupid, but a soul collector or energy collector or something.
Yeah, see, because I never really understood until just now when we're talking about it, the actual visual of someone like putting like a straw in my head and trying to suck me out.
Yeah, that's just odd.
Yeah, but that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. So, it doesn't sound strange to me for you to say, might sound strange to others, but it doesn't sound strange to me for you to say it could be a soul collector or a harvester or anything along those lines. It could have been anything. It could have been one of the giant spiders. It could have been the AI octopus or, you know, we just don't know. Because it was such a really weird experience, and it's not nice when something is trying to pull at you constantly. It's not a nice feeling at all. I do like the idea of painting the room in a magnet. Maybe
it's a specialised paint. Yeah,
I'm just getting. What if you put shungite powder in paint?
I think you'd need a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you could work that out.
So what colour was this paint?
It was black.
Oh, it was black.
I think from memory it was like black, but I had like shimmery. It was a little bit shimmery.
Okay.
Because it was connected to the magnetic. It had magnetic powder or something in the paint just to help to shut down the room or for nothing to come into the room. So there was only place in the house that this lady was
able to be safe, kind of
feel normal.
Wow.
So
wow, she must be really sensitive to the frequencies.
Yeah. To spend that sort of money.
Yeah.
And that was just for the paint, but whatever.
And that's just in the bedroom as well.
There's just one room.
Yeah.
I think they might have talked about maybe doing more parts of the house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Because I'm just thinking, because we all fly off and have dreams and stuff like that, but I wonder what kind of dreams she was having to do that to the bedroom. Like crazy stuff coming through maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Do that to the bedroom.
Yeah. I just feel like she was just sensitive to this frequency, this waveform that was through the internet and Wi-Fi, and that's streaming around everywhere. Because remember, we had our Wi-Fi and everything. Internet shut down for a few hours.
Yeah,
and did we discuss this on here?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did. I think we discussed it in the AI one.
Oh, that's right. So go and check out the AI podcast.
Yeah.
And then,
I think it was in the AI podcast episode that we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting as well. That's why I'm just thinking now, when I got my car, which I've had for a few years now, I put a lot of crystals in there.
You do actually.
I have a lot of crystals in my car.
Yeah, you do.
And I set the intention for protection around the car and to keep it grounded.
Yeah.
And I feel that does help a lot. I don't know if we've done that with your car.
I don't think so.
Even though you're coming out of your head, but maybe the frequency of the crystals with the intention would help protect you. I mean, I guess you can't put... I'm just getting... Well, it's a work van. You can't put... G'day, I just want to put some...
But I've got the crystals in my cap. But it would be handy to have, like...
the food van or
the crystal. It would have been handy to have the crystal in the food van somewhere. But then it would be funny if I was, had a day off, and then a relief driver came in. They're like, Allison, why? What's with the crystals? I'd be like, because I fly off. I don't think that would actually.
Yeah, there's a 5G network just down the road, and it's trying to suck me out of my body. So I just thought I'd put some grounding crystals into the van. I know a few people have tried to buy and thinking it's food, but it's not. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think
that's a cool joke.
I think they'd think I'm loopy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Thanks, baby. So I've actually got the cap here for the ones that are watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
For the ones that are watching on podcast, or listening on podcast, I'm really sorry that we can't actually give you a visual, but try to imagine you pretty much got like the foil kind of sits on top of your head, and I've got crystals inside the layers of the foil or the aluminium or the aluminum, and it just pretty much sits.
Yeah, it's nothing fancy.
Just sits inside the cap. That's pretty much it.
You can buy hats, I believe in America, that are all protected.
Really?
Yep. I know they're worth a lot.
Wow.
But you can, and they're a bit shiny. They look pretty new agey, coolish looking hats too.
Oh, it's not like a cowboy hat or a cap or anything, is it?
It's a cap.
Oh, it is a cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can get caps.
Oh. Well, that's a cool industry to.
Yeah. So we're not crazy.
No, we're not crazy. I mean, all those people that made foil caps with. I don't understand the point though.
Of what?
So no, sorry, not the. I don't understand. I was just thinking ahead. People in the past, like the 70s and all that, they made the foil hats over their head, but they made it into a point up the top as well. I never really understood the point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that supposed to be some kind of antenna or something?
Maybe make it funnier looking. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember because it was all made of. They had points. Yeah.
Yeah, I never looking at it, thinking about it now. It doesn't actually make sense, the point, but I'm sure there was a reason to turn it into a point.
I guess you could research it if you really wanted to.
That's true. But we just wanted to share my experience with the 5G network because it is everywhere. And if you're feeling sensitive and you feel very ungrounded and you don't like towers, shungite works really well. If you have maybe place shungite around the house or something along those lines.
I think that might be actually the best crystal for it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And if you're really sensitive and you're unsure about when you're going outside and you don't mind wearing a cap or that often, just put something in a cap. Yeah. Wrap it in foil or something, but make sure it's, it doesn't fall out or, it's like uncomfortable. Just put it in foil, put it in a cap, and no one's going to know. No one knows when I'm wearing it. No. You can't tell at all.
No. But it does get a bit hot. I worked out when it gets warmer, because we're being in our winter, bloody freezing. So good for that. But during summer, I remember when it was warmer, it got a little bit toasty.
That's the only thing, because we're breathing through our head. So that's the only thing that would, because it's keeping the heat in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe you could look up these hats.
Or what about if they can get a hold of shungite crystals, either on a bracelet or even maybe put some in the pocket?
Yeah, that'll help, but that's still not connected to the head though. You could probably sew or stick them in somewhere around the hat or something.
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. If you really don't mind feeling hot and really want to feel grounded and not feel so edgy.
Yeah, maybe if you're just around a lot of towers.
Yeah.
I hate to live underneath one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Remember when we were living at Roval? There was one at Roval in the shopping complex.
See, unfortunately with Roval, we always thought that Roval was very much like an AI central hub kind of thing.
And we were also told that as well.
Yeah. It was just something really off energetically about it.
Yeah, it was AI central.
Yeah, it was like it was like the Stepford Wives kind of thing, or everything's so perfect. I mean, it's a beautiful area, absolutely beautiful area, but it just seems everything was so perfect.
Yeah, behind the scenes for me, it's bloody creepy.
Physically, it's beautiful.
Yeah, physically, everything is physically beautiful.
But what I'm saying is, like, because it looks so perfect, it was like Stepford Wives creepy perfect.
Yeah. Visually. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, because we lived there for 12 months.
Yeah, yeah, we did. So if you're curious about other grounding crystals, we do have a previous episode about the different types of grounding crystals that we suggest as well. However, this was more about the 5G network and my experience with the 5G network and how I don't like it. You don't really like it either.
No, not really. I mean, if they could create something that didn't cause havoc with the energies that we are, that'd be great. But I think also that's part of the game as well, because I reckon they're trying to get us to be a bit like AI tech bot zombie people and not really home. And for the stuff that's played out the last couple of years, that's been another agenda as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And people perceive me saying that is to be crazy, because we know people who are vaccinated 3 or 4 times, and it's like it's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice, and the only thing is, it is a choice.
People should have done their research instead of just
unfortunately
jumping off a cliff without seeing how high the cliff was.
But unfortunately, it was done in a way that people hadn't felt like they had no choice. That's the only thing.
No, I know that.
It was only done in a way that people felt like they had no choice. And I don't agree with it. We don't agree with it. I think it was a really mean way of,
Because if nobody took it, like the whole globe, said, no, this is not right, we're feeling it's not right, it wouldn't have played out.
No, well, that's exactly it.
But anyway, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, it did play out that way. And so this is where the situation is for the globe.
Yeah, and there was talk about online where the 5G network, there's some sort of connection that will be playing out with people who are got their procedures done. So that'll be interesting to see that in the future, because 5G here isn't crazy at the moment.
No,
there's only towers here and there, and I don't know the rest of the globe, but I know here it's not full on crazy yet. But I know they need a lot of towers because they're short range frequency waves. So, and that means that there's research being done not from the people who created it, because they're like, it's not harmful, but if you do more deeper research, the frequency or the wave actually penetrates into the skull. So with the hat that you had in the shungai, that would help reflect that back.
And it's really interesting that I don't need to have a certain medical scenario, but I'm still affected by it. I'm still affected by the 5G. We're all still affected by the 5G. And the one other thing and it all keeps you in the head anyway. Everything, all of that stuff keeps you in the head. Just touching on a subject that we talked about, the power of the heart, to be grounded as well. Like I mentioned to you before, after we did the episode, is when you're doing something that you enjoy and being in the heart space, that also keeps you grounded too. Again, the heart space is amazing. Probably would actually help you stay out of the 5G network on a completely different level.
Yeah, a bit more protection around you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit concerning, really, isn't it?
It is. It is a bit concerning. I mean, we've heard stories from other people. We've seen stuff ourselves. We've had visions or things happen, perceived visions in our head of what could actually play out. And it is a bit scary. And there's heaps of movies about it too. So it's very, very scary of the possibility of what if. But at the same time, if we all come together and, work together from a heart space, then that's a different story.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one to resolve.
But as we get back on topic, if you're really sensitive around the 5G network and grounding, I guess it ties back down to grounding. It ties back down to being in your heart space, because I was just getting, if you're really sensitive, go for a walk in nature or something along those lines. But if you live in a concrete jungle, any city that's a concrete jungle, and don't have any trees or nature around, try shungite if you can get your hands on shungite.
Yeah, I really believe that people should give this a go. Like, you're really sensitive and your thoughts and everything's just a bit out of control and you just can't get your stuff together. Maybe just try some aluminum, some shungite in it, and just see for yourself if
just try it.
It's helpful.
If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work for you.
Don't harm to try.
But absolutely,
because we thought we were going nuts. I thought, well, let's just try it. There must be something in it.
When Jason first did tell me about it, I actually thought he was going crazy until he actually did it for me. He's like stuffing folding it all up, putting it in the cap and everything, and I put it on. And I remember we went for a walk down by the lake, and I remember because it was a nice day as well. And we were sitting on the bench, and I just remember staring at the water. And for the first time, like I said before earlier in the episode, that I didn't have to fight to be grounded. I could just sit and be and just allow my thoughts to be what they needed to be.
Yeah.
And I actually felt safe and protected. Like something wasn't going to try and come in or something wasn't going to try and pull me out.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, anything else?
No, I think we pretty much covered the 5G network, how much we don't like it, and how shungite and foil in a cap may actually help people.
Yeah, I love tech, and we say that. But again, it's just everything's out of balance here. Everything's just extreme. It's just craziness. Back to balance would be fantastic for everything.
Okay, so the keys are balance, heart, grounding.
Yeah.
You know, things along those lines, so you don't get lost in the mental world.
The etheric, the mind realm.
Because it's not just about the mental realm. It's not just about that.
No. Yeah, okay. Food for thought, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We really greatly appreciate you guys listening to us always. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, listening and watching.
Yes, listening and watching.
I hope this is just a little bit of food for thought. Yes, it sounds a little bit crazy for people out there who are what we call, I guess, mainstream. But that's okay. We've all got our own little...
craziness?
Ways of doing things.
I was just going to say craziness. We all got our own craziness going on.
We're just all a bit crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
In our own way.
In our own way.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in again. We'll see you in the next one.
See you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Love and blessings to you.